I guess I will cut the waiting period short as everybody is in the chat. So, or as every player, every team, should I say, is in the game, rather. So, blue team is going to be Nordic. And the orange team is going to be Slaughterhouse. What an aggressive sounding name, if I do say so myself. Oh, with an L. Like so. Hey guys, is everybody ready? Let's see if they are. Nordics are ready. What about Slaughterhouse? When's the Nordic versus Slaughterhouse game? Right about now. Alright guys, good luck, have fun, and may the best team win. And let's start, without further ado, the game. The one and only thing I have to mix up is that the overlays are on the wrong side, as Nordic is on the blue team, and oh my gosh, what is this overlay doing in that screen? It is not supposed to be here. Let's just remove that real quick. And now, we are going to be playing Clubhouse. Once again, the intro was cut pretty short. Slaughterhouse are going to be on the defending side, Nordic, by extension, attacking, and the bans on Clubhouse tend to be pretty predictable. So the hard breaching is so important in this game. It plays such a vital role in a few key bomb sites that you absolutely do expect the operator's ban to go in that direction, or rather against the hard breaching capabilities of the attackers, which is why we're going to be seeing a Hibana ban. Another probable ban could be Thatcher, could be Maverick. It yet remains to be seen. Jackal could be a Jack of all trades ban, a say comfort or blanket ban, but we're going to be going with Maverick here. Nordic now are going to be banning a defender, so the question is, who do they not want to be playing against? There are a few possible answers here. Like, you could always go against a bandit or something like that to make the hard breaching effort somewhat easier, since it's going to be so much harder with the previously mentioned bans. But you never ever want to be facing against a Mira's window either, which is why she is going to be taken out of the picture. Slaughterhouse as well seem to know who they want to ban really quickly, as the countdown timer jumped to 3, 2, 1 extremely fast, and that's going to be Echo taken off the board as well. And that is going to be it for the operator's ban phase. The first round is about to start. The one and only thing I'd like to do in the game settings, though, is just to take off the game info to make the on-screen UI just so much more streamlined. And the very first defense is going to go Church and Arsenal Room. In the few past months, the past couple of months that we've just seen go by, I feel like the bottom bomb site has become more and more streamlined, or more and more preferred by the community. When Clubhouse was first reworked, at that point a few years ago, the player base tended to go at the top floor, CCTV and cash room first, and then they would go downstairs as a secondary bomb site. But that definitely has changed since. And talking about the bottom floor as being a secondary bomb site is really just a minority when you talk about player, or rather team's preferences. Looking at the composition here, Slaughterhouse are bringing quite a few roamers, so you really do expect to see this mobile and swift defense. So Vigil, played by JC, I want to say I'm getting more and more cautious when I pronounce the gamer tags and the names, because I've butchered once too many times the other players' names. So Vigil will absolutely be roaming, not Nova with the Mozzie. Well, he can technically stay on the objective to play an intel denial role, such as Mute would, but seeing as he's in CCTV and he's definitely setting the pests in a anti-denial or a intel denial role just to prevent his roaming presence to be known. And that's also going to be another, well, roaming possibilities that we're going to be seeing. Boop is in the garage, and should Capitao be droning right here and now, Boop's presence is probably going to be identified really quickly. As I say this, the drones gets destroyed, and he will be pulling back, probably to avoid being stupidly wallbanged. Storms, however, will not be in a position to toss another pest in. Oh, he does! I did not expect the pest to miss that second drone. So Boop really is no longer in the general area. If the attackers were to push in through Garage, not Nova would probably be the first line of defense, actually. And he's kind of playing a double role. So he has to protect the top floor, and at the same time, using the verticalities possible openings that he's created in the floor, he also wants to protect the kitchen hatch. So should Nordic be able to put some pressure on him in a, say, wise manner, he should be really easy to deal with. But clearing the roamers does not seem to be Nordic's first priority, as we're already seeing a few players, including Lucky and S4 and even Bosak, who are already poised to put pressure on the objective. Said pressure is not exactly coming just yet, like nobody's actively firing, but the roamers seem to know that they slowly but surely have to get back on OBJ. As I say this, Storms gets a double kill. Swaggy will get the refrag on S4, but gets killed himself at the very same time. That seems to be the room cleared for the attackers. Wolf is in a good position to toss some Nitro Cell, but I don't think it's going to get anybody killed, and the grenade will take care of him. That's going to leave us with Boop in a 1v3 situation. Diffuser is likely to go down any second now, and his main goal will be to prevent that. He hears it, he knows exactly what's going on, but he does not exactly know where the other attackers are, and that is going to be Zofia, played by Bosak, winning the first round with a nice and overall relatively easy kill, as Bosak was just statically holding an angle. Let's go for the replays if they want to play. Yes, there we go. So looking back at this round, I really do feel like that defensive strategy coming from the orange team is somewhat similar to what we've seen Evil Geniuses do. Have a heavy top floor roam presence to prevent the first floor from being destroyed or from being taken over. Notably the hatches, you want to protect those. But if the attackers are in a position to short-circuit the roamers' positioning, every and all defenders outside of the objective are just going to be next to worthless, which is pretty much what we saw. The defender's presence on the objective itself was quite light, was not too heavy, and that made it so much easier for Nordic to just funnel in, and at that point, they were successfully able to rotate back. But at the end of the day, the frags ended up being in Nordic's favor. We're going to be going at the bottom floor again, since Slaughterhouse lost, unfortunately, if you're a Slaughterhouse fan, at the bottom staircase. And as such, the composition seems to be next to... Actually, it is, I believe, exactly the same. And so if you do the same thing over and over again, well, you might expect similar results, assuming the execution of the defense remains, well, similar to the previous one. So it is going to be up to Slaughterhouse to come up with something new, and I'm quite curious to see what they will improvise. JC seems to be a bit more aggressive, but the overall setup seems to be quite similar, with not Nova once again playing for verticality. His back is going to be protected by Boop, who will prevent anybody from entering through the garage. But as we can see, Lucky is already here in the dirt tunnel. It appears it was not reinforced, and as such, the hammer creates minimal noise, but that's going to be a goo mine that will reveal his presence. Swaggy absolutely knows what's up, and he seems to want to be playing it a bit more aggressively, but pulls back as soon as the drone has been destroyed. And Lucky here gets an easy kill. Whoa, Elf was, well, unaware of his surroundings, and that was a totally free kill. The opportunity, let's hope it for Slaughterhouse's sake, is not going to present itself again, but still, Swaggy seems to be more or less alone. If you look at third person, we do see Modzi, who wanted to get back on side, but will be cut short by Storms. The other defender in the general area, well, Boop can come back pretty easily, is going to be JC. He is in the blue tunnel, gets a first kill. There's also another silhouette there. That's going to be S4, who does not want to go down the staircase as he does. Nobody is, well, in his line of sight. That's going to be Swaggy getting another kill. The objective, though, is slowly but surely falling into the attacker's hands, is way more contested than it was last round, and the man advantage this time comes to Slaughterhouse. That's going to be another kill. Double kill in total, triple kill for Swaggy, who will get the quad kill. Or no, that was Boop, my bad. Nonetheless, Slaughterhouse winning round 2 in not as a decisive manner as they lost it last round, but hey, no matter how you win the round, as long as you do, it's all that matters. So let's go for those replays. This is where I usually have an analyst that takes over when I'm manning the OBS settings. And that round, I do want to say, Slaughterhouse, well, visibly, were able to adapt to their opponent's strategy. It did it up in their advantage, even though at the very beginning they had me somewhat worried, as the initial setup seemed really, really similar to what we had seen at the very first round. Fortunately for them, it was really just an initial positioning. They reacted quite differently to Nordic's push, and all in all, I just have to commend them for their swift ability to adapt to what they've seen coming off of the Canadian team. Third round, obviously, since you've just won in church, you have to go elsewhere, and without any surprise in the world, we're going to be going cash and CCTV. I mean, to be real, if they went anywhere else, I think we would have been astonished. And that's both a good and a bad thing. This map as a whole is really predictable when it comes to bomb site selection for coming off of the defensive team. And what I mean by that is the attackers know in advance with near certainty what bomb site they're going to attack, and as such, Slaughterhouse, or Nordic, sorry, will have the perfect setup, in their minds at least, to attack the top floor. The composition is really clearly made for a top push, as we're going to be seeing Capitao, who as of yet is really difficult to counter if you probably want to use that crossbow to prevent any and all bandit tricksing. But Bandit, as I'm sure you guys noticed, is notably going to be absent this round. And Boop is absolutely ready if somebody wants to push in aggressively from that window. But looking at the attacker's positioning, that does not seem to be the case. Will we see our first kill here? It is going to be Nova going down extremely early into the round. And yeah, that's going to be really tough for the defenders now, as any and all Thatcher charge, or even just somebody blowing up the ceiling above them on the first floor, is going to be easily able to dispatch of the Electro Claw. And of course, that's going to be Thermite opening up the reinforced wall. Though there was a Goyo shield right behind it, so it is going to put a damper on the attackers' plans of coming into the building. But as soon as the Goyo shield has done its job, well, the path is now cleared. JC absolutely preventing any and all the attackers from entering from that side. However, we do not see any blue silhouettes from that angle, so I'm not exactly sure what he was firing at. Woe Elf seems to be really important right now for Slaughterhouse. Meaning by that, he has control as of yet of Garage, and as long as he's still up, he can really easily just look to his left side and have a cross angle to prevent the attackers from walking into the building, into the CCTV room, which is why Bosak is so hesitant to make a step forward. But he will be flushed out by Lackey, who will get a first kill, or S4. Well, that's going to be Thatcher getting the kill, actually. Now in a 3v5 situation, JC seems to be ready to run out and like go for the flank or something, but as of yet he's not going to be too good of a position to do so, as well running out would allow him to kill absolutely nobody. So Swaggy will be the next round of defense with the remote gas grenades. He has a good potential to slow down the attack, and that's exactly what's going to happen. But Bosak gets the shield down, and now any and all firefight and strafe could really easily occur, and JC was absolutely ready for that flank, but unfortunately the timing was not in his favor. I'm really interested to see what Swaggy is going to do with the remote gas grenades. With the Toxic Babes, he can absolutely delay the push. It yet remains to be seen how he's going to use that utility to its fullest potential. As for he's droning, but he's in a good position to set foot on the objective as well. And now Ripsaw, who is inside the bomb site, can now start to plant the diffuser. The Nitrocell will be tossed. It does not get the kill. Lackey goes in for the kill. He does! That's not going to be 2v4 situation. JC gets a first kill. Will he get the second? There's a salute right there. Oh no, he takes fire, and I believe he was flanked. That's not going to be Jaeger in a 1v4 situation. He was not going to get out of there alive. And Lackey winning the kill and winning the round for his team. Nice little double kill as a final kill cam. You love to see it. And that is going to be round 3 won by Nordic Esports. I'm curious to see where the next round is going to go. If the first 2 rounds have taught us something, and admittedly we're working off of a really small sample, it does seem as if Nordic Esports' initial push tends to work, but then Slaughterhouse are able to really rapidly adjust to whatever didn't work in their previous defense. So You guys can't see it right now, but it will come to no surprise to you. Actually, let's take a look at it right about now. It'll come to no surprise to you guys that we're going CCTV and cash room again, with this time a different composition. And the question is, how will they modify their setup and their composition in order to fill in the gaps or the voids that were present in their previous setup and their previous strategies. A notable change is going to be the addition of Bandit. So Not Nova is absolutely going to be in a position to do the bandit tricksing, which Kaid previously couldn't do. And should he be lucky in that endeavor, or should he be successful in that endeavor, well, the hard-breaching capabilities of Nordic Esports could be thus foiled, which would obviously put the blue team at on the back foot at somewhat of a disadvantage, tactically speaking, as that opening can be so important if you want to get into the objective and, well, thereafter plant the diffuser. The attackers are spawning in from a few different angles, and that's absolutely standard for them, as we've seen last round. You do want to encircle the objective, encircle the defenders, preventing all attempts at, well, a run-out possibilities. But looking at the defenders' positionings, it does not seem as if we're going to be playing too heavily off of the roam, and thus the potential run-outs. Boop could be interesting. He has not yet been identified or spotted. And as such, I don't believe. Yeah, look, a nice little peek from that window could mean the end of storms, but it appears as if Boop has moved since, and that possibility is now next to, well, inexistent. But in a couple of windows in that general area could also get an angle on Storms, who is head glitching, admittedly, but still at this level of play. Well, they have good enough accuracy to get those kills off, but that's going to be hard-reaching successful. Bosak and his friends are now next to ready to enter into the objective. Looking at the defender's positioning, Woelf, yeah, is again in the garage, and again he's going to be instrumental in preventing the attackers from funneling in. Thermite is going, however, to push the garage, and that is absolutely gonna put tremendous pressure on Maestro, who will be struggling to remain alive, but as long as he does, you could bet that by proxy, the objective itself is gonna remain defended, fortified, and safe. So this is really going to come down to the next few fire threats that we're going to be seeing. Woelf engage himself in. He will be playing it quite passively. He knows his left side is somewhat safe. He gets the first kill. Will he get the second? That's going to be, I believe, Thatcher going in for the kill. He will take a lot of damage, but both players are still up. And Woelf is not at the end of his troubles. The objective itself is still safe, thanks to his Evil Eye and his friends, but he will still be receiving pressure. The pixel angle, and that's going to be Jay roaming at the first floor, getting a nice kill on S4, but Woelf is now concussed, and Bosak might want to run in. Apparently he doesn't, but like he's absolutely holding the angle, and he gets the kill. He finds the head. Will we see JC pushing in? Maybe even Not Nova holding the little angle. Lucky is now inside. He knows exactly what dangers are lurking out for him, and he is none too pleased by the prospect of just pushing into the objective of just walking up the catwalk. However, that's something he will absolutely have to do for a few seconds, as the timer is running critically low. The defenders know this. They're just playing off of time at this point, and it actually might work. So JC peeking just too far off, a few warning shots more than anything else at this point. So Lucky has no choice but to push them as the diffuser is going to be planted. Gets the first kill. Will he get the second? There's a bandit right here. He doesn't. No, not Nova getting the kill with this nitro cell. He gets a double. Bosak now in a 1v3 situation. Diffuser lost, does not get the kill, and he will absolutely not be allowed to crawl back up. That is going to be Slaughterhouse winning round 4. Nicely done, if I do say so myself. Solid positioning, and really, they played it passively. Slaughterhouse knew that eventually the timer would just run out, and if you can just outlive your opponents, they'll have to rush you no matter how unfavorable the prospect of a firefight is. It's either near certain defeat or an absolutely certain defeat. So being stuck between a rock and a hard place was, well, not a good idea, but they had no choice but to deal with it, which ended up to leading to Nordic's demise.
10 seconds remaining.
So, sorry for the short break here. I was just taking some water. It was a nice round, and my voice was kind of feeling it. So, after winning or losing a round at the top floor and then winning the second try up there, well, what are you going to do? You're going to go downstairs again. The good and bad news by having the I win one, I lose one round kind of go back and forth that we're seeing right now is that you can just hop back and forth between your primary and your secondary site, which is going to cause Slaughterhouse to be in as good a position as they can be. Since they had to see what the attacking team Nordic Esports were up to first before countering them, and then after that, well, they're able to win the upcoming round. With that being a given, now that they're going downstairs again and that they know how Nordic are likely to push again, as it's just the beginning of the end for Nordic. Once again, the game itself is pretty young. We're not too many rounds in, but if they're quick to adapt, as they've shown us they are, Slaughterhouse could be off to a 4-2 scoreline for the first half round. We're going to be playing a bit more defensively, however, so you can see that the roaming presence is going to be somewhat lighter. JC is not as actively roaming. Not Nova still playing off of the verticality, and Boop also is going to be just lurking next to a few staircases, or in that case a ladder. As I say this, however, he just runs away from it. And that is going to be Storms already pushing into the kitchen area, so obviously Not Nova was supposed to protect that. Apparently he failed. And right now, he seems to be looking for a way out. Luckily for him, Boop is in the general area, so they can feed off of each other's intel, watch each other's back. So there is that synergy going for them. But will Nordic just want to go against the roamers, or are they going to try to find a way into the objective, which circumvents these roamers' positionings? It appears to be the former rather than the latter. A drone has been tossed in, but both roamers have moved since. That's going to be Wolf getting a first kill. Boop is now in the garage. Not Nova seems to be going down blue stairs. Do we have any attackers in that general area? Apparently not. So that is just going to be time wasted for Nordic Esports. So far, even with minimal firefights, I do feel as if Slaughterhouse are coming on top, and not by a slim margin. You've lost your Thermite, which I didn't comment on right as he died, but that's going to be heart breaching capabilities gone. So the hatches will remain intact. Now that you have also lost a fair chunk of the round. Actually, there's barely over a minute remaining. What can you do? We had not yet seen a clear and decisive way into the objective. Lucky seems to just believe that you have no way but to just go for the face-to-face firefights, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Entry fragging as he does on his right side. There's somebody, I'm not exactly sure whose silhouette that is. Legion. Yeah, it's going to be JC. So should he be pushed? Yeah, we seem to know that he's there. The KS-79 kind of exploding on in mid-air. Boop getting a first kill, getting a double kill. Now a 2v4 situation. Storms is going to be tossing the Candelas. He knows he has no choice but to jump down. His opponents, with a bit of luck, will be blinded, but that's soon to change, and he will be put down. Now a 1v3 situation. S4 has just under 25 seconds to get the 3 kills. He gets a first. His position is now known. That's going to be next to the only advantage he previously had gone, dissipated. Flanking off of the other side, of the other angle. There's a Mozzie looking for him, but he gets the kill. Now 1v1 situation, he has to plant the diffuser. The timer is going to be running critically low, but obviously that is never going to be a possibility with Swaggy still up, so he has to go in for the kill. He does not know exactly where his opponent is. It's going to be a deathmatch, and Swaggy has the advantage of surprise, and that is going to be Slaughterhouse winning due to the timer running down to 0. Nordic are taking a bit too much of time with their attacks, and it's hurting them. So Slaughterhouse absolutely do know what they're going up against at this point, and they're reacting accordingly. At the beginning, at the very first round, actually, they lost in a somewhat decisive manner, which had me somewhat worried for them. But my worries were absolutely misplaced, considering we're now at a 2-3 scoreline. The orange team absolutely knows how to handle themselves, and it's absolutely nice to see a team that is able to just switch it up so quickly. When you fall into your habits, when you fall in a repeating pattern, it is really going to hurt your adaptability. And Slaughterhouse definitely has that adaptability factor. So, after having won their third round, we are now forced into a new bomb site, which is going to be bedroom, tertiary site, not exactly their favorite bomb site of, well, just about any team on the defensive side, which is to some extent make it somewhat easier for Nordic to win the round. Once again, we've seen how Slaughter have to see Nordic's attacking style first before they know how to defend successfully against them. So going into a new bomb site, which we haven't seen so far in the game, might just lead to a victory for them being Nordic. However, again, remains to be seen. The composition is going to be ever-changing, ever-evolving on either teams. Storms is going to be bringing out the Twitch for the very first time, and on the defensive side, we are going to be seeing Castle, which in and of itself has nothing surprising to it. You absolutely do know why he's going to be playing that operator, but still, that is going to be new blood being brought to the competition so far. The extended hold is obviously going to be putting Not Nova in a 1v, however many bodies Nordic want to throw at Cash Room, and obviously not every wall has been reinforced, so it's going to be somewhat of a challenge for Not Nova to remain alive here. He is going to be finding himself in a first firefight. Nobody is really injured. Actually, none of the two belligerents were able to hit each other, but still warning shots fired, and that's absolutely going to be tying Not Nova down. Well, he was going to stay there nonetheless, but still, if the attackers didn't know he was there, now they absolutely do. I believe I've heard a hatch be destroyed. Was it on the top floor? Yes, absolutely. Though I couldn't tell you who did it, as no silhouette, nobody is close to that. And there you go, the frag grenade being tossed. That's absolutely going to destroy any bandit tricks and capabilities. And Ripsaw should have next to no difficulties opening up that reinforced wall. Actually, will he even go for it? It took him quite some time, but he will absolutely get it done. Swaggy in a cross angle, should anybody jump through the windows, which does not appear to be the case too much, and JC actively contesting. That's going to be Knight thrown, but I don't believe it's going to be injuring anybody. Actually, it probably was destroyed by an ADS device, as it didn't even blow up. With 1 minute 20 remaining on the clock, how do you want to push in? As eventually, well, they'll have to get a foothold on the building itself if you want to subsequently move towards the objective. Lucky seems to be intent on putting pressure through the office. Do we see a silhouette on office? Let me just rotate through the different silhouettes. Yeah, that's going to be Wall Elf, and Boop seem to want to go for a firefight, but he just jumped down the hatch, and now it's going to be Maestro who will be shot in the foot. He has next to no chance of firing back, and he's kind of pinned there with so little health. He really does not want to peek, but he knows he has no other opportunity. But luckily for him, he will remain alive. That is now going to be Swaggy down. Will we be able to push in? Apparently yes, but Not Nova is still up, and he will get the kill. Nicely done. Will it be a double? It does not appear to be the case. Bosak getting a nice, fine kill, a really important one as well, as he's now pretty much free to just jump right into the bedroom. Boop was just playing out in the middle of the corridor, but that's going to be a refrag. Refrag, and another refrag coming off of Lucky. Wall Elf, no, in a 1v3 situation, he has very little health, but the timer could have gone dry. Bosak, however, getting the kill right at the last second. Not quite, but still. Should Bosak have lost his firefight, it would have been critical. So, that was the first half of the game, of the map. And we're finding ourselves at a 3-3 scoreline. People in the chat apparently are somewhat, I don't want to say arguing over who's the best team, but we definitely do see some supporters of both teams in the chat, and you know, I do love to see that. When you have the chat, it's really one-sided at some point, and it might eventually turn into just bashing one team endlessly, and that's absolutely not going to happen tonight, I believe. And as Ninja Ta Koch, I probably butchered that name. She said, I don't know if that's a more male or female gamer tag. I'm sorry. As you said, we will see. We're absolutely here to see what the game is going to turn out like. So, that is now going to be Nordic Esports defending, and they will be bringing a different composition to the table. We have seen Cade be played once at the top floor from Slaughterhouse, so seeing him be used probably to protect those hatches is going to be a first as far as this game is concerned. But you still have Storms, who will be in a position to protect the reinforced walls, not the hatches, mind you, but still. Or he might even just use his overlords in a intel denial role. And actually, let me just take a look. Do we have... Yeah, so there's 2 jammers are right here. They're definitely more into a, well, hard breaching denial role than an intel denial role. So, that's not going to be Slaughterhouse spawning in. Another new addition to the composition, which we have not seen Nordic play ever, and subsequently Slaughterhouse having the opportunity to innovate by bringing him to the table, is going to be Buck. Buck serves a similar role to Sledge, which Nordic have used in the past, but still, that's going to be something new, and as of yet, he's pretty much just statically holding an angle, and absolutely no defender on Nordic Esports' side are likely to peek him at the current time, which in and of itself means that Nova was not too was not being too active on his team's effort. And as soon as he realized that, obviously, he shifted his attention to doing what Buck does best, and that's just going to be mindlessly destroying the floor, and then going for the angles. Let's see, Nova is now in a good position to deny a few key rotations to the defenders, so should Thermite hypothetically be able to destroy the hatch and then toss another, well, bit of pressure at the bottom floor, that could put the defenders in a very tight spot. As of yet, it doesn't appear to be the case too much. Storms is at the bottom of the staircase, so he's playing anti-verticality yet, but still, as soon as somebody goes down the stairs, that shotgun at that range is going to be absolutely terrific. I believe Moto Hatch has been destroyed, probably as Not Nova gets a nice kill. Yeah, that's Moto Hatch destroyed, and subsequently Bosak biting the dust. S4 with the ACOG, he sees somebody, doesn't fire, he will fire back, but no, he was too little too late, boop, getting the kill. 5v3 situation, the attackers are now more or less ready to funnel into the objective. Now at 5v2, is it going to be a perfect round for them? Oh, it's not going to be. Lucky getting the first kill. Ripsaw not finding himself in too much of a trouble at the moment, but with Lucky now down. Boop getting the kill at the very same moment. Slaughterhouse winning round 7 in just as swift a manner as they lost it when they first defended there. So here we go. To be honest with you guys, I couldn't tell which team is going to come out on top. And that's absolutely the kind of game that you want to see, the kind of game that we do like, as it just keeps the suspense and the tension at its maximum level. I've seen people commenting with the role swap, it's somewhat of a defender-sided map. I say somewhat because, well, not each map is created equal. So considering Slaughterhouse were able to say keep their own was not too bad when they were defending. Now that they're attacking, it might actually be somewhat easier for them. Yet it remains to be seen. Another key difference between Slaughter and Nordic's defenses on CCTV is going to be Bosak playing Castle. I'm curious to see where the armor panels are going to go. Apparently the first one will come here. Other than that, the other big question would be Maestro or Ripsaw's Evil Eyes. He apparently has already put the first one down. The second one will go right above the CCTV, say, monitor, to prevent the diffuser from being planted and a bit of barbed wire being planted or put down in the objective itself. That is going to be pretty much it for the setup. I don't see anybody actively roaming. Bosak admittedly is at the first floor, so he might want to run back up the staircase. He might want to stay down here, and now Lucky's joining in with him. So I'm curious to see. It's going to be more of a proxy defense than anything else, and there's already a silhouette. I believe it is Buck silhouette. Yeah, he's right here. Not Nova going for the kill, but he will not get it. That's going to be Lucky getting first blood, but Bosak will be put down at the very same moment. Will Lucky be in a position to protect him? Apparently not. Who is firing? That is JC, who was able to find a cheeky little angle, and Swaggy absolutely intends to keep the pressure up, but there was a castle barricade, which I believe has been almost destroyed, but that's something the attackers don't know. So, Swaggy, yeah, he'll be using a breaching charge. Well, that's what that utility is there for, and as he has 3 in his back pocket, using 1 when he technically didn't have to is not going to be too much of a loss. And now, Bosak will have to watch the bottom of the staircase. Should the reinforced wall be destroyed from the balcony, it could put him in a potential tough situation, but as of yet, that's just a hypothetical. Woe Elf seems to know what's up. He will have quite the difficulty to open up that reinforced wall as long as Bandit is still up, even with the Thatcher's EMP grenades that Swaggy just tossed. Oh, and that is going to be really clever. Sophia getting a nice kill, I believe? Or putting him down. I believe I've heard the KS-79. Yeah, she was probably downstairs. Nonetheless, that is a successful and quite nifty anti-bandit tricksing operation that we've seen here. Execution was the word I was looking for. So, what do we have here? Ripsaw is playing just as his counterpart was playing in on the Slaughterhouse. He is holding Garage. As long as he stays up, it's going to be really difficult for now Slaughterhouse to push into the objective. But Capital is going to be brought to the table, and that will be it for Ripsaw. Nicely done. I really like to see how Slaughterhouse are coming up with new ways to attack into these objectives, which they just defended, and how successful they are. So Storms is not going to be forced to pull back. He has little but still control of B, so those toxic babes, considering the time especially, are going to be really, really primordial to prevent the diffuser from being planted. Bosak also has a nifty little angle, but he's really low, so a face-to-face firefight might not go his way. Should it come to that, which it absolutely will. One last toxic babe is in his back pocket. Diffuser is not being planted, and that is going to be smokes being tossed. They absolutely have to try to go for the kills, but Storms does not want to go too much, so that's going to be... I missed everything. That was Castle just running in, going for the Hail Mary, but Swaggy was absolutely ready to cut off any and all rotations. And that's a double kill coming from Swaggy. Nicely done. Here we go for the replays. I'm kind of reading through the chat. I've seen quite a few people. It's always nice to see an active chat. And since I'm pretty much doing solo production right now, I also have to moderate it as it is required because ESL wants to have clean chats on their games. But the good news is, thank you guys, thank you everybody for being so polite with each other. It's not a given on the internet, but as of right now, there is absolutely no worries to have had. You guys are an amazing community. But sorry if I don't read too much into the chat, as yeah, I have quite a few things to do simultaneously. So that was a nice CCTV hold coming off of Slaughterhouse. They're now going to be forced into their tertiary sites, or no, wait, nice attack of Slaughterhouse. My bad. And in and of itself, we are going to be seeing Nordic Esports attempting to defend it yet again. Will they be as resourceful and as adaptive as Slaughterhouse were when they were defending? That's the question. You do see the composition that seems to be really similar to what we've had before. But is it going to matter? Is it going to change anything? It really is going to come down to execution. Ripsaw, once again, most likely setting himself up to defend the garage. Yeah, he absolutely is. But he is 100% vulnerable to the exact same exploit, or not exploit, to the exact same tactic as Slaughterhouse has used to get him out of there previously, and that's going to be Capitao, JC's tactical crossbow, assuming he doesn't use them elsewhere. Bosak is going to be roaming a bit more aggressively than last time, so that's already going to be one new addition, or one, say, update to the execution. But in and of itself, Lucky is just going to be doing a two-man's, say, job, as we had two defenders here last time. He seems to be expecting pressure from the exact same angle, which I assume is likely to come. But really, the thing that has me worried for him is that he's at the cross angle between many doorways. As you can see, on his right side, there's going to be a breaching charge tossed or placed and, yeah, blown right as we speak. and thus Lucky was at a cross-section between too many potential entryways. He had to get out of there. Bosak making a bit of noise, probably wishing to attract the attacker's attention, which it absolutely does. Swag, you know, watching the blue stairs like a hawk, but he's watching a dead angle as Bosak's no longer there, and should Capital be on the drones, which he absolutely is. It might even be a free kill for Bosak. If he trusts himself, he will not be realizing Capital's there, but still, he'll be inflicting a lot of damage on Not Nova and running out of harm's way as soon as he knows he's no longer in a, say, advantaged situation. Looking a bit closer at the objective, the hard breaching seems to have worked. Wolf used the first Texan Dynamite to great effect. It has not been destroyed by a Badger Fixing or anything, which leaves him with another exothermic charge into his back pocket, which he'll absolutely use for the garage. So now S4 will absolutely be pressed and hard. So Ripsaw will be holding the east entrance, and yeah, Bandit just had to get out of there. Thus, once again, leaving Ripsaw alone to his possible demise, considering how easy it was last round to get rid of him. JC seems to be going for the same setup. Let's just see how it's going to play out. Ripsaw really just has to get the kill before the firebolts are tossed. He knows this time what was going to happen. He pulled back. Will he get the kill? Oh, he goes for the strafe, but he walks into the flames, and that is going to be him taken out. But all around him, the other attackers have also been, well, their numbers are dwindling, let's just put it that way. Now in a 2v4 situation with 15 seconds remaining, we do not have the diffuser. Swaggy has to get in. That is going to be JC down. He rushes in for the kill, but that does not work. Nordic Esports winning round 9 with in a somewhat predictable manner, if I could put it that way. As soon as the timer ran short, it was a 2v4, diffuser loss. You really had next to no real chance of winning the round, assuming Nordic doesn't do anything incredibly stupid, which, to their credit, they didn't do. And thus, we are finding ourselves into a 4v5 situation.
15 seconds remaining.
Alright. So, that was, I'm sorry, I didn't get too many kills here. I missed quite a few, but still, those that we got were really nice. One thing that round absolutely shows me is that, unfortunately for them, I believe Nordic are not as good as adapting, are not as good to adapt as their opponents are. Looking at Maestro, he went against the very same offense, meaning the Firebolts, as last round. He was able to strafe out of the way, but at the end of the day, it was not enough to eventually, as eventually he got killed by Jay, who only had to use his gun as a second resort. Slaughterhouse Org saying, thank you for being here. Hi, Slaughterhouse Org, thank you guys for being here. Like, just to be real with you guys, we're like, this is not Pro League or anything. I'm not the official Rainbow Six channel. I never expect to be having, realistically speaking, I don't expect more than, say, 20-ish viewers. And then seeing right now 67 is somewhat above my average. So I'm absolutely glad to have you guys. And also one thing I absolutely like to see is, well, the great number of fans on both sides who respect each other. It's really, really easy to see people just fanboying at a toxic level, and the healthy competition is thus lost. Tonight, it's absolutely not the case, and I love to see it. So, we are down in the basement again by Church. Looking at the attackers, if you just circle through Slaughterhouse's POVs, they seem to be, well, going more or less in from every different angle, or from every possible angle. So far, even though we're not exactly pushing into the objective yet, it seems as if we want to encircle the defenders. We're not talking about a unilateral push. We're not talking about let's all put our firepower together from this one single doorway, which, well, strength in numbers will eventually guarantee we get through. But that is going to be Not Nova taking fire with the hammers in his hands. Not a good timing for him. Storms was quick to react to that. However, Sledge now knows what's up, and he will absolutely be playing accordingly. Age Roan has been feeding him information. He knows it's now safe to use the breaching hammer again, and he has a nice and a really good angle on Moto. Should Thermite be in a position to open up the hatch. Whoever is down there, I believe it is K. Yeah, exactly. S4. Should S4 be caught with the hatch opened, he will have next to no chance of getting out of there alive. And actually, the grenade will put him in a down situation. Storms, well, does he want to risk crossing that doorway? He does, and he will be reviving his teammates. So nicely done. Not Nova, unfortunately, didn't seem to have the intel that he puts an opponent down. And as such, he didn't toss a second grenade, which would have maybe even gotten 2 kills. And now that's going to be too little too late. He will cook the grenade, but yeah, that was just utility wasted due to a lack of intel. Unfortunate. And other somewhat unfortunate detail for Slaughterhouse is that with 53 seconds remaining, they don't yet seem to have a decisive way into the objective. And with all 5 defenders still up, the objective itself is going to be a really tough nut to crack. Looking at it, Ripsaw absolutely knows. I believe it is, yeah, Boop's positioning and Boop's intent to run in through blue. JC, though he's running right now, he's at the top of the blue staircase himself, I believe. Yeah, right there. So he can also put some pressure. Oh, and the fireballs can be really dangerous if he throws them correctly. Lucky will be surviving that. Goes for the kill, and he does not get it. That's going to be Boop. Now lit, but still, the way seems to have been cleared, and so Wolf gets a kill and Ripsaw at the same time. 3v4 situation, 13 seconds left. S4 has a strong position. Bosak gets another kill. 2v3 situation. And wow, a flurry of kill happens. That was like 3 kills in not even a second. Nordic are going to be winning the round, even though I did not exactly see that coming. What a round. I seem to be repeating myself quite often when I say what a round, nicely done, but definitely, as the further along we go into this bracket, the fewer teams are remaining, and as such, only the best of the best are still here. And wow, does it chills. Absolutely amazing plays. JC unfortunately was not able to use his crossbow, his tactical crossbow to great effect, but still that forced Jaeger into rotation, and Zofia was able to receive him in a proper manner. S4 had a strong angle as well, but unfortunately he didn't get too many kills. At the end of the day, JC had no choice but to go for the Hail Mary basically, and Bosak, well, he knew how to deal with that. What's the scoreline now? 5-5. And with the 5-5 scoreline, what else can I say? The odds of going into overtime are ever greater. However, we are now going to be seeing the bedroom defense, which I don't believe Nordic Esports have tried so far. So let's see how it's going to play out. A few minor, but yet key differences between Nordics and Slaughter's setup here is going to be Valkyrie, Valkyrie's presence, which was replaced by a Maestro when the orange team were defending there. So what it's going to imply is our plant denial capabilities, well, not even selected in the first place, but say next to perfect knowledge with the black eye cameras being tossed left and right, you absolutely do know if the diffuser is going to be planted. And that camera seems to be going outside. It will be tossed out there. You can't exactly say that the cam was well hidden, so as soon as the attackers have a line of sight on him, it is likely to go down, but not before seeing that somebody is going for the office hatch. Not Nova was able to injure S4 quite a bit. He lost roughly half of his health. Nothing too dramatic, like it's not going to be a game changer, but still, it is going to be putting S4 on the back foot for the rest of the round, and early on, putting him in such a disadvantaged situation is not too enjoyable for him, I would assume. JC seems to be receiving a bit of pressure coming off of CCTV. Lucky, however, just fired a first few warning shots to distract JC and to monopolize his attention more than actually trying to get the kill. He'll go for it again. However, that time, JC is absolutely ready for it, and that is going to be two defenders, with roughly half of their health remaining. Everybody yet is still up, but just looking at the total amount of health remaining, I would have said it advantages Slaughterhouse, but now it definitely, and not exactly overwhelmingly does, but they still have the upper hand, the man advantage, and the health advantage. Bandit tricksing, or hard breaching, should I say, if you want to put it the other way around, seems to be next on Slaughterhouse's checklist. Flashbang is going to be tossed, but S4 absolutely survived that. He's not even concussed, and he still has 3 shock wires in his back pocket. So the EMP grenade, which I assume Swaggy will be tossing out shortly, is only going to be, well, taking out a minimal amount of utility. However, the window being opened back there from Notnova is going to be dangerous, and S4 as such will not even be attempting the bandit trick, saying Elf was able to successfully open up that reinforced wall. Looking at the positioning in third person real quick, oh my gosh, should Storms be dealt with, it would be somewhat easier for the attackers to just run into Jim. However, S4 still has a tiny angle on the objective, but with Lucky not even remotely on the site and Storms directly underneath it, you could argue that Nordic Esports' hold on either bomb sites is somewhat minimal. And as such, should we see a coordinated and decisive push coming off of Slaughter, which is absolutely happening right now, it could be the end of the defenders. S4, yeah, as soon as he's no longer blind, he just recovers his senses in order to see himself die. Storms now in a 1v5 situation. He only has the hatch to go by, but the diffuser's planted on the other bomb site, I assume. The stairs are absolutely going to be watched by, I believe it is Sledge's silhouette, but I didn't want to change it. It was Thatcher. Actually, luckily I didn't. And Swaggy now is going to be winning the round for his team in a flawless manner. It's the first round that we've seen go down in such a decisive way. Slaughterhouse are now in a match point situation, back against their wall, or with their backs against the wall. How are Nordics Esport, yeah, going to react to that? Is the pressure going to be throwing them off, or are they going to be committing, say, simple and unfortunate mistakes? It remains to be seen. I would hope for their sakes not, as well, we are getting ever closer to the final round, so you wouldn't want them, or you wouldn't want newbie teams to still be on there, which they definitely are not, but everybody reacts differently under pressure. Unfortunately, the attackers were successfully able to just remove Nordic Esports gradually from the bomb site, and at some point the only one that was still alive was the Smoke, simply because he was not in a position to be killed by Slaughter Esports, or Slaughterhouse, sorry. So, we are now going to be defending CCTV again. Going off of the historical data that we have, CCTV has been defended by Nordic Esports twice. Once successfully and once unsuccessfully. You could argue both teams at this point know how each other, or how the other is going to react or is going to act on that bomb site, so it's not going to be too much of a surprise or unknown. I am just curious to see if either of the teams is going to mix things up. So the composition itself is going to be slightly different. S4 will be playing Cade rather than actively trying to bandit tricks, which so far I don't believe has ever worked on either of those teams when they were defending. So if you look at it this way, well, Cade might actually be the right choice. Smoke, yeah, just about everybody else was there previously. Bosak, once again, roaming at the bottom of the staircase, does not appear to be willing to stay there for too long, as he's done this for the for the last few rounds, actually, and as such, there's going to be no surprise for the attackers. Yeah, and as such, Notnova is definitely going to be going up against those castle barricades. But is it Lucky? Yeah, Lucky is at the bottom of the staircase now. He's in the lounge. But no feet are going to be presenting themselves to him. As much as the attackers know what is going up, Nova does not seem to be willing to straight up go into find himself into a firefight, as the broken hatch on his left side might leave his flank open. But no, we're going to be going for the face-to-face firefight. Bosak also going down, firing a few shots, but not too eager to absolutely go all in. He will just retreat back up the stairs. So far, you could argue that Slaughterhouse are making relatively good time. I've heard Bandits placing down the Texan Dynamite. I believe it was on the garage, however. And as such, Ripsaw is going to be so much easier of a target to clear out. I yet have to see any attempt from Slaughterhouse to flush him out, though, as Thermite, as we speak, is working on the second reinforced wall, which will also likely be destroyed. Yeah, tricksing with the Cade's Archula Electro Claw is somewhat challenging, and as such, it does not exactly work that round. Not with 1 minute, roughly 50 seconds remaining on the counter. How will we push into the objective? If you look at the current positioning, Slaughterhouse are somewhat encircling CCTV and Cash. I don't see too many attackers coming from the construction side, but you could argue Notnova could probably do that if he wants to repel up. So not exactly a unilateral push, but not exactly totally encircling the defenders either. Ripsaw will be receiving the fireballs, which will force him to retreat a little bit. He's still in a dead angle, so he's still going strong, but you could argue he's no longer in a position to completely deny access to the garage to the attackers. That is going to be Diffuser lost, Thermite down. He's done its job utility-wise, so it's not too dramatic, and that Jaeger ADS was going to deny the the grenade, but if you're just focused on the flash nade, Boop is going to get it first, and a second easy kill. Diffuser has not yet been recovered, but I'm guessing JC is going to do that. Did he just plain forget to do it? Oh no, yeah, of course, that was not going to be such an easy mistake coming off of them. So, 2v4 situation, 15 seconds remaining. Let's just remind ourselves, if the attackers succeed in that push, it's going to be GG, but no, Storms gets the kill. We're going to be getting the Diffuser back. JC now planting. Who's covering him? It is going to be Swaggy trying to flank, and he gets the kill. Slaughterhouse winning round 12 in a somewhat close manner. What a nice game. As Slaughterhouse Oracle says, let's go. Though, with the delay you're commenting on the last round, that round I believe you'll be having a similar yet maybe a bit more intense reaction. Alright, that is going to be it for the first round. Nordic Esports are going to be forced into a loss. I am curious, is it their first loss, not their first, or is it their third loss, however, because that would imply that they're out of the tournament so far. And as far as Slaughterhouse go, well, they will undoubtedly, or without a doubt, moving towards the next level of tournaments, or to the next round. Next round, which will start in roughly 30 minutes. So I just want to say GG to both teams. Usually when I do see some easy or say simple mistakes, I like to give some advice, say, hey, you guys maybe did this or that wrong, but these players have no easy way of improving themselves that I could point out to. So kudos for you guys to being so much better than me. And with that being said, just to repeat myself, I will kick us into a be right back screen as the next round, or the next game, is set to start in roughly 30 minutes. So thank you guys all for being here. I can cast just about any game I want, as long as no other community caster has already taken the game. So you guys just let me know in the chat who you want me to cast next, and if their game is still available by the time I get to them, I can absolutely pick your guys' team of choice. But until then, thank you all for being here for the first match, and let me just set up a little something on the be right back screen, and I absolutely hope to see you guys next round. Until then, enjoy the replays.
10 seconds to go. Attackers have located a bomb. 5 seconds remaining. Diffuser. 15 seconds left. Attackers have recovered their diffuser. Nest in position!
All right, and we are back right on time. So this is going to be map 2 of the night, and as far as I'm concerned, unfortunately, the last map of the night. I will sadly not be casting the third game tonight. So we do have Slaughterhouse. You guys just flooded the chat with requests for me to cast them again. So happy to oblige. And they pick starting side. I don't which one they want. Defend for OT. Got it. Alright, so Slaughterhouse apparently will be deciding who OTs. So, not Slaughterhouse, the other team. My bad. Alright, so Team Reckless is going to be the new team we're going to be going up against, or Slaughterhouse, I should say not really affiliated to them in any way, shape, or form. I just casted them last game. Looking at their roster real quick, as far as I'm concerned, I don't recognize any gamer tags here. So maybe I am just plain ignorant, or well, these names, as far as I'm concerned, don't ring a bell to me personally. If I had my co-caster, maybe she would know. Unfortunately, she's not available tonight. It happens. Just looking at their previous performances, they seem to have won quite a few games. Well, after all, they're still there. Am I right? And right now, I believe not Nova. Yeah, these are all the Slaughterhouse guys. I yet have to receive a friend request from any member of Team Reckless, I believe. So, yes, in the meantime, we will be playing on Bank. Let me just set it in the game settings. And talking about Bank, what kind of map is Bank? I'm pretty sure most of you guys know, but just to be sure, for those of you who might be new here, or those of you who might be unfamiliar with the, say, competitive scene, Bank in and of itself, I would say, is somewhat defense heavy. Is pretty easy for defenders to hold. if you look at the bottom floor, there's next to no verticality except for the hatches. So unlike what we saw on Consulate last round, there's no way to destroy a floor or a ceiling. And then to gain a few nifty angles on the defenders, which in and of itself makes the thing pretty easy to defend. When you combine to that the fact that the garage is next to impossible or next to worthless to attack, that just leaves you with, well, the two staircases and the hatches that are pretty much next to them. Talking, for example, about these server hatches. If you don't have if you don't have the staircase, jumping down the hatch is, well, pretty much a suicide mission. And on the other side of the map, once again talking about the bottom of the building, the vault hatch also is not really a good point of attack. So it looks as if Slaughterhouse is going to be playing on the blue team, and by extension, Team Reckless will be on the orange side. Team Reckless. Let's just enable their mics, or let's just unmute the game audio. Hi guys, just wanted to know which team should start attacking on OT?
Slaughterhouse wants defense on OT.
All right.
Defense.
So. Team starting as attackers. So orange team starts attacking on OT. Yeah, so that was just the, paperwork, if I can put it that way, that I had to take care of. Slaughterhouse, we've seen what they're capable of last game. Let's just take a look real quick at Team Reckless. It is to be expected. The MMRs and rankings are pretty much up there. Plat 1, I don't expect to be seeing anything beneath Plat 1, to be honest. So, that will be put to those suspicions, or that curiosity will be put to rest. Thank you for the follow. I absolutely always do love that. And I'm glad you guys enjoy the content enough to think to yourselves, hey, I want to be notified next time the guy goes live. So that's always appreciated. One thing I absolutely do find weird, however, is the votes, which apparently has like 97 votes. There's probably a bot spamming it, so the vote at the bottom of the image, at the bottom of the screen, is probably not really indicative of how you guys feel going into this match. Are you guys ready? Let's see if the players are set to start. I guess not. Oh, I'm in caps lock. So far, no answer. Both teams are ready. All right, good luck, have fun, and may the best team win. And here we go. Oh, we're in fade. Where are we? I didn't want to do that. Hey, sorry. All right, let's just set the stinger transition back on. So, Bank Slaughterhouse against Team Reckless. Start of the ban phase, which is pretty standard. What kind of bans can you expect coming off of Bank? Well, I would say hard-breaching bans are really primordial. Once again, the lack of verticality makes it so that the hatches can be instrumental in succeeding at attack on the bottom floor, and that's going to be Hibana taken out of the picture. However, Bank also has a really good capabilities, or has really good roaming potential with 3 floors, which is not something you don't see on every single map, especially not the newer ones. Also, it's just large, both in the verticality sense, as I said, 3 floors, and also horizontally speaking, a single floor is really large. The top one maybe less so, as it's as there's like this balcony that sees onto the main lobby, and as such, that implies that the 3rd floor or the 2nd floor, should I say, is not that big. But still, you know, roamers can be a pain in the butt. So I was somewhat expecting a Jackal ban, which will not be happening. Instead, we're going to be seeing Capital taken out of the picture, and Echo and Mirror bans are, at this point, your comfort bans. You really do want to take out as much of the plant denial capabilities as possible, and Mira is just an all-around good operator. She somewhat depends on the map layout more than other operators, like since the black mirror directly interacts with the wall, if opening up a line of sight through that wall doesn't give you a good angle, it's going to be next to worthless to put down the black mirror there. But Bank, it just so happens to be one of those maps where you can really hold a good angle when you're placing down that black mirror. So, the first defense, with no surprise whatsoever, is going to go CCTV. We are going to be seeing a 6-pick from Pulse to Emotzi. This is quite interesting. Usually I'd say, well, Pulse is somewhat of a roaming operator himself, and now switching from Pulse to Emotzi is not going to be switching up too much the actual, say, goal of the player, since it's just going to be switching up the execution. However, Pulse can be really good taking into Gold Vault to just feed intel to his teammates, which this time is not going to be happening. Well, Elf reinforcing the hatches. I really don't expect that to be the case, but probably, or not probably, it would be a possibility of him to go on the top floor and use the fact that he's already up here to plant some Evil Eyes, say to protect the hatches from Maestro or Maverick, sorry, or what would you? But it really doesn't appear to be the case. There's going to be a first Evil Eye planted in the garage, and the other one would probably be set up in a plant denial fashion to protect the CCTV bomb site. In the meantime, the attackers, Team Reckless, have spawned in. Breezy, I want to say, I don't know how. There's a dot in the middle of a few of those gamer tags, and I'm not exactly sure if it's supposed to cut the pronunciation short or not. Well, in either way, the attackers are slowly but surely entering the building. We want to make sure that nobody's roaming, and the pesky roamers will be absolutely present, just not at the top floor. JC is here in the cellar, somewhat holding the hatch, or actually sitting right on top of it. And you also have Boop, who himself will be in the staff room with the bullet holes. He will be holding a really tight angle. And in the meantime, JC has been fired upon. I believe it was by Maverick's gun. And that would be logical since he had a line of sight on Tellers. So now that's going to be Mozzie flushed out, if you want to, strictly speaking, look at it that way. The hatch has now been cleared out from the of any roaming presence, and JC wants to get back on OBJ. That is going to be making the roam game somewhat lighter. As such, Boop also falls down. Swaggy now is going to be pretty much the only one that's not on OBJ. Oh, well, Boop goes right up here again. Looking at the attackers, what do we have? We have Dox G, who has a nice angle due to the fact that slaughterhouses themselves have opened up that hole in the wall to allow for some nifty rotations. But since nobody's really there anymore, that was just a nice line of sight to hold for Dox G. 2T also will be looking for angles, and here that could be really interesting since Breeze doesn't have to use his breaching torch on the first hatch. Since the defenders have opened it up themselves, he is free to use that torch on the second one here in open area, and as such, that is just going to increase the verticality potential for Team Reckless's push. Or upcoming push, should I say, not Nova in server room expecting the frag grenades, but the ADS device is absolutely going to prevent that. The flashbang will not be incapacitating him either, and he knows he'll be pushed, but that would be the end of him. The grenade was going to blow up since the ADS device had been burned up. War Elf is now holding a nifty angle, but without the ACOG. Unfortunately, Maestro lost it a few weeks ago. It's going to be somewhat more difficult for him to hold on that angle. He will try nonetheless, and since he's still in a difficult spot to see, well, he'd probably be a bit of a challenge to take out of the picture, and that is going to be Nitrocell taking Dox G out of the picture. Diffuser now lost, but will be recovered pretty easily. Breeze will be put down himself. Who is covering the diffuser? Tutti is. Will he get the kill? He does. Well, actually, he's down, but still, the diffuser is now planted, and that is going to be pressure inverted. Swaggy now alone. Effectively, he can bring that back up to a now 2v2, and it is absolutely going to happen, but the timer is ticking down. Ultra has a tiny angle on the diffuser, and Colossus is sitting right at top of it. So the attackers are now having a defensive role and are really well set up to prevent that. It does seem to me as if Sophia absolutely knows what's coming. First free shot will be fired. He gets the kill. JC now only due situation. He was not going to get that. Team Reckless winning round 1. Colossus with a double kill. You'd like to see that. The kills were so close to one another. that he gets a double kill. That sounded redundant. Alright, let's go for the replays instead. And oh boy, do I have many replays for you guys. I must have not missed too many. Let's take a look at them. Not Nova, unfortunately, had nothing else to do. There was no way, realistically speaking, for him to survive. The ADS had been eaten up by a few quote-unquote worthless flash grenades, which paved the way for the frag grenade to jump up and to get the kill on him, well, clearing, should I say, the servers. And as such, the attackers, the orange team, were free to push up onto the objective itself. It was somewhat of a close call, but the diffuser ended up being planted successfully, which absolutely did put Slaughterhouse on the back foot, and they were just not able to recover from that. Colossus getting a double kill as a final kill cam, and all in all, kudos to him for that. Wait, how are the blue guys defending first? Did I mess something up?
10 seconds remaining.
I think I did.
5 seconds
Oh gosh,
to
I
go.
feel bad now.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Wow. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Team Reckless were supposed to defend first, I believe. Did I mess this up? It was supposed to be OT. Okay. If the players want to rehost, it would be fair game, as it would be my mistake. I'll keep on going since it seems to be fine by the players. Once again, I sincerely apologize. Doing solo production, you have so many things to take care of, and sometimes a detail manages to slip through the cracks. But in the meantime, so you still do see the... Oh, Colossus getting a first kill on not Nova. You still do see the, relatively speaking, same roaming setup with Poop in the open area, who'll probably be pushed shortly. JC in Archives, and with the rotations possible, we are pulling back. It is now officially too dangerous to hold that angle. Swaggy in the blue stairs, Boop rotating to take up his place. It seems really to be a coordinated dance, if I could put it that way. The defenders, Slaughterhouse, absolutely do know how to play that defense. Swaggy, on his part, is holding the hatch once again, opening that hatch up is somewhat of a gamble, as it is going to be made to make it easier for Team Reckless. The drone was obviously going to take the intel. Maybe a pest could have been useful there. With that being said, though, Tutti is absolutely ready to peek the angle. Another drone, that one will survive, however, and he seems to think it's a bit too dangerous to peek that angle, so he will just not do it. Breezy going hard on the hatch with the breaching torch. There's somebody sitting right underneath him, so should Wolf be unprepared? Yeah, he absolutely knows. There's no way for him to be oblivious to the burning sound of the torch, and he's just looking for the angle as the hatch is shortly, as I say this, going to be destroyed, but nobody is putting the pressure in an immediate sense. And on the blue stairs, that is going to be one kill on both sides. Tutti getting the frag, and Utah getting fragged himself. 3v4 situation now. There's 45 seconds remaining on the counter, and what is going to happen now? The attackers, Team Reckless, are poised to walk into the site, but they yet lack a clear way to remain alive should they just jump down those hatches, as there is going to be Swaggy here with yet 3 toxic babes. He can be a giant pain at this point of the round. Thermite will be opening that wall up. The first toxic babe has been tossed. A drone will be tossed. Colossus holding the angle, and Tutti seems to be really intent on jumping down. Actually, it's something they'll have to do really shortly, as there's only 15 seconds remaining on the clock. Breezy putting the pressure from the back angle to kind of distract the defenders. The diffuser's being planted. Breezy gets a kill. Swaggy gets another one. And that is going to be Nitro Cell getting the team kill. Triple kill, actually, but it denied the plant, and that was it. Triple kill, including a team kill. It's not exactly the best ever. But you know what? They did the job in a somewhat original manner. And that is going to be Slaughterhouse winning their first round.
Seconds left.
Nicely done. It was, once again, the timer was running pretty short, and as such, it could have gone either way really It could have been. It could have gone either way. Should the Nitro Cell not have gotten the kill? Should a teammate have been able to destroy the package before a certain phone call was made? The attackers had the upper hand. They had the man advantage at the last few seconds, and yeah, really just a lucky toss is all I have to say. Bonnie says, I'm here. Slaughterhouse had to grab a hot tea so I can relax and watch this gameplay. So, round 3. We are obviously going to go elsewhere since the defense was successful. This is going to be without any surprise in the world going to be a CEO defense. And as such, the composition is going to adapt or to reflect, or it's going to be adapting accordingly. Elf will still be playing Maestro, however, Doc will be a new operator that we haven't seen played at the bottom staircase, at the bottom of the staircase, my bad, and Swaggy will be putting out a castle. What's more, we have an Ash coming out or being brought to the forefront thanks to Breezy, who seems to maybe want to go in for a rush. Should he turn right here? Nah, he's probably going to rappel up somewhere, and that is why he's playing the G36C at the moment, probably to find some long angles. But as of now, he's maybe just droning to support a teammate that wants to rush in. That would be uncharacteristic coming from an Ash, but no, really, they're just trying to cut off some possible rotations. Zofia's playing a similar role, just repelling on a different facade of the building. And Ultra also currently repositioning himself. So, what does it look like? Currently, I would say Team Reckless are trying to open up as many lines of sight on the objective as possible. Hypothetically cutting off as many rotations from Slaughterhouse as possible, in the hopes that should somebody just peek his head out, he's going to be shot at immediately. However, if nobody's actively putting the pressure on the defenders, they'll have no incentive to move, to rotate, or to peek those angles. So it's going to be primordial to see who will actively be pushing in. 2T seems to be joining for Doxg, so maybe he will be the first line of offense. Swaggy gets a nice kill on Breezy. That is going to be one of those repelling operators less. Colossus no longer there either. So all in all, we seem to be rotating and to be shifting the attention towards searching for a way to actually set foot on the objective. And that is exactly why JC is already starting to use up his remote gas grenades as he gets another kill. This is not looking too good for Team Reckless. The man advantage is definitely favoring the offense. Impact nade probably will get that. Oh no, he does not. Another kill coming from Not Nova. Now a 2v5 situation. 2T in the smoke cloud. He has to pull back. Now Thermite's going in, but he will be bested, and that is going to be a double kill coming off of Swaggy. Slaughterhouse with a flawless round. There you go, crawling when your opponent doesn't expect you to be at feet level. You two have the advantage of surprise. Really, pulling your barrel down to aim at feet level only takes a fraction of a second. But if you only need a fraction of a second to get the kill, it's all that matters, and the round is thus won in a really decisive way. It was a flawless round, and as such, you could argue Team Reckless, Slaughterhouse committed absolutely no mistake whatsoever, and as such, you have to commend them for it. So those were two successful defenses back to back, and as such, we're going to be going in our tertiary site, which is going to be staff. Oh, yeah, I did not exactly expect them to go there. You'd hypothetically think the tertiary site is going to be Tellers and Archives, but apparently Slaughterhouse are full of surprises. Looking in third person, what is going to be reinforced? Those rooms are really large and are really open. So I'd say the meta is quite different to what you would normally see. JC going for the hatches. Will he stay up there to protect the top floor, or will he come back down? I'm not sure. Oh, will he even go for the run-up? Probably not. It was your first two warning shots. Why would he fire when the attackers aren't even spawned yet? I don't know. They're strats, and if it works, hey, I'm all for it. So, Boop also is a pretty light operator. He does not seem to be intent on staying directly on OBJ. Probably setting up a proxy defense by Tellers. but he's moving too much to be exactly to make it easy for me to exactly predict what he's going to be doing. Breezy droning, so it's not really going to be a heads down blind Ash rush as you might see in casual or maybe even ranked. But still, seeing Ash, which has a heavy frag potential, but is not too much utility oriented, it really does seem to me as if Team Reckless are looking for kills and are trying to, well, just out-frag and outgun their opponents rather than putting too much emphasis on planting the diffuser. I know it's not, say, 100% needed crutch operator or crutch utility, but, you know, having smokes is always useful if you want to plant the diffuser. And in the current composition, Team Reckless have no smokes, be it or no support operator, actually. Sophia could be support, but she's not exactly your Nomad or your Gridlock, you know? So, what do we have right here? We did have a roaming presence from Vigil, who is no longer at the top floor. As you can see, Colossus is holding the staircase, doesn't want anybody to come back up. And I would assume, yeah, Tuti's already putting pressure on the verticality, which is exactly what Colossus was trying to protect. But now with Boop getting the kill, he might just run back up the stairs. And if Tuti's looking at the floor, looking between his feet, he would be an easy kill, as he would never see Boop arrive. But instead, Boop doesn't seem to be too intent on coming back up this staircase. So really, the attackers, Team Reckless, are pretty much free to do whatever they want, with minimal disruption coming off of the roamers. You would especially expect the current operators to actively harass the attacking setup, if I can put it that way. Doxy was successfully able to plant his second Texan Dynamite, and now that is going to be an intel gathering, say first few seconds, not Nova, absolutely expecting the drone to come in. The drone maybe saw him, if not, it heard him. You could see as soon as it went close to that drone hole, it pulled back up, and that is probably because Doxy wanted to take it back into his back pocket before. And did they just realize this is not the objective? He hid behind the counter, or the desk, should I say. Wanted probably to plant, as such, drop the diffuser. Is that a lack of intel? And that could be quite unfortunate if they really use next to all of their utility for the wrong site. I dearly hope it was just a mistake he didn't intend to hit on that key, because, oh wow, that did not go too well for them. Team Slaughterhouse, Team Reckless being somewhat demolished without putting any real pressure on the objective. Sledge was peeking, Sledge was looking into the bomb site, but he was no real threats. Here we go with the replays.
A bomb is located. Bomb located by attackers.
Yeah, so my co-caster who was supposed to be here for the second map of the night, apparently will be here, but like with a bit of delay, which would be encouraging. You know, jumping in late is better than not jumping in at all, and especially since I feel my English is slipping, I will be all for it. How are you doing?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
There's one thing, however, I don't know what changed on my setup, but your voice level is way too low. Let me just increase this as much as possible on my end. Can you please say something?
Hello. I am currently not on my computer right now. I am on my phone, so that's probably why the voice levels are a little bit different for you.
10 seconds left
Probably.
before insertion.
Quick question. Are you capable of jumping into Parsec off of your phone, or let me just go for the screen share. Yeah, so jumping in pretty much right into it. Jumping in cold, if I can put it that way. We are playing Slaughterhouse against Team Reckless. This is now the second to last round of the round robin. So really, only the best of the best are still into the game. And so far, Slaughterhouse are trailing ahead. They've won 3 rounds in a row, and round 5, so second to last round before the role swap. At this point, the attackers, Team Reckless, know what they're going up against, you know? They've seen their defense on all primary, secondary, tertiary sites. So advantage of surprise, or, yeah, advantage of surprise regarding, say, the roamers' habits, positionings, and everything is not going to be lost. Our Team Reckless going to be capable of adapting and winning back those rounds, it remains to be seen. So far, I don't see too much adaptability coming off of them.
For sure. Now let me actually connect to my computer because I did start it up very quickly here. I'm going to be coming back to the call. Just give me a moment.
Oh yeah, I'll just keep on going in the meantime. So you have Tutti, who knows by now that Vigil was gonna be there, goes for the kill, but no, it doesn't work. JC, though heavily wounded, is still up, is still alive, and you can't. The same doesn't hold true for Sledge. So even though he took roughly 90% of damage, he lost 90% of his health. You only need 1 hit point to be able to fire your gun. Ultra, I was gonna say Utah. Wow, Ultra now holding the long angle, but that is gonna be next to worthless as no roamers are still up. You do see that Slaughterhouse are pulling back, and they're really not shy about getting the roamers back on site as soon as it starts to go wrong for them, because you'd rather have them alive and on the objective, even though it's not their primary role, than just out of the picture entirely. And all in all, it is going to be wasting quite a lot of time. So there's only 1 minute remaining, and we're already starting, or we're only starting to put real pressure on the objective. Mind you, 50-ish seconds is still more than enough if you make it quick, which is something Team Reckless doesn't do too much. Like the timer, or they've lost due to the timer once so far at the bottom floor, actually. So I am going to be really curious how this one plays out.
And of course, the fact that the roam clear is not going in full effect.
Oh my
right
god, I
now
can
is
barely
a little
hear you
bit
at all.
Interesting.
I am.
Sorry about that. Wow, lots of flurry kills. Sorry. Ultra's gonna get a double kill 1v3 situation. LS solely left to pick up the retake now that the plant has been initiated. So that's going to be an interesting situation for her to get over. This could potentially mean a 4-2 situation by the time the role swap has hit. So she's going to have to make her move quickly. Now Ella, she is going to be taking out the first engagement she gets into. Ultra picking up the few shots that he needs to finish out the round on Ella.
And that is going to be a decisive push and their first victory as attackers on the bottom floor. So kudos to Team Reckless for that. Well, nice round 1. And as you pointed out, well, it is now 3-2, and quite possibly a 4-2 scoreline for the role swap, considering Bank is a defense-heavy map. It would be quite encouraging for them to see. So, just talking about technical difficulties, I have boosted your mic a great deal in my OBS, but I still barely hear you. So if there's a way for you to increase the scores, or did I just like lower your level? No, I'm like your mic's almost 200% level. Let me see if there's anything I can do regarding that, because yeah, I can barely hear you. Oh, got it. It was on my end. Sorry.
All right, that is perfectly fine. Now, actually, to talk about that round a little bit more in review, we did see, even though I was a little bit in and out, we did see quite a lot of heavy roaming from the defense, even though, of course, this is going to be... Oh, it is... Yeah, so, okay, so 3-2.
Yeah, 3-2. It's
Yeah,
the last
3-2.
round before the roll swap. Yeah,
Right, it is the last round before the roll swap. Okay, I got caught up there. That was my bad.
I actually messed up the settings, like blue team attacking first. It's not supposed to happen. Once again, I do apologize to the players. They didn't ask for a rehost, so I guess it didn't bother them too much. But, you know, we're not in a typical goal for, so I feel bad a bit more than I usually would. All right, you take it over.
Okay, yeah, so something that's definitely interesting to note about the whole heavy roaming situation that was going on was the fact that the attack was doing little to nothing to actually counter the roam, or if they did, it was ineffective as is. So what instead they chose to do was take an alternative way to the objective, right? They came straight down main stairs. That was almost a rush-like strategy that they put all of their stock into. They took complete control of the alternative objective that the attack normally wouldn't go for, and they took all of their focus essentially off of the main reinforcement, off of the wall that you would imagine that they went for. So instead of having to take that hard engagement, possibly causing collateral between the team, they decided that, you know, it'd be best spent on going a different way, and I commend them for that, their adaptability.
Indeed, it was the You have not seen the previous times that we've defended the bottom floor. It was quite close, but a triple kill Nitro Cell, which one of these 2 kills was a team kill, unfortunately. It was a really close round, so the adaptability that was required was quite minimal, and they absolutely did provide with, well, what they were lacking previously. Jumping into this round, we've only played, or we've already, should I say, played over half of the regulation time, and we're not even talking about it right now. A grenade will get a Wool Elf dumping it out. Yeah, you know, not Nova being right there. He was never going to leave him down. And Maestro now knows what he's going up against, and that was 2D's second frag grenade, so that trick is not going to work a second time. Maybe Ultra will find a clever angle in his opponents, but it doesn't seem too likely, seeing currently what he sees and what he doesn't see. He was really cautious, and you do see why. He gets picked off, but Castle gets refragged immediately. 2v3 situation, and Colossus is the only one that's really pushed into the objective. Tutti now wants to support, but there's a Castle barricade. He destroys it, but Maestro knows what's up. He gets the kill. Colossus now has to get in. The remaining defenders are absolutely aware of what's going on, with still 3 toxic plays into the defender's utility. It could be really dangerous, but JC was not in a position to use them effectively. Not Nova getting the kill. It's now a 1v2 situation.
1v2 it is. Sophia's going to take her first pick, but she's going to get down. Will she be able to withstand? Unfortunately not. She's going to get smoked out, and that's the final round before the roll swap. Defenders winning that one out, putting us to, I believe, was it a 4-2 scoreline?
Yeah, 4-2.
Okay, yeah, just to get that down. So it is a 4-2 scoreline by the roll swap. In some cases, you would actually want to argue that that is going to be a good spot to have your score in line with, especially because this, I mean, of course, I am no casting expert, but normally you would say that this is more of a defense-sided map or defense-sided game in general.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is.
Right. So then, if we're going by that logic, we would want, you know, as many rounds as we can get, but saying 2 rounds, I mean, it's still a pretty good substantial amount of rounds to get yourself in, if anything.
It absolutely is, and if you don't put it that way, with the roll swap now, the well, lack of rounds that Team Reckless has accumulated, they might be able to somewhat easily get back at this point. The first defense is without any surprise going to go into the bottom staircase, and the operators are going to be somewhat predictable as well. So you do see a pretty heavy roam presence. Pulse, he might want to sit into Gold Vault, but currently since he's at the first floor, he might also just want to stay there and find himself a dark corner to wait out for the attackers to push in. Colossus, as you can see, Jaeger, once he plays down the ADS devices, he's free to roam, and he absolutely does seem as if he wants to do so. And I really don't have to talk about Mozzie too much. You know, the pest launcher and everything is meant for him to roam. Yeah, that was 3 minutes ago. I have fixed it. Like, you know, like I said, I had like maxed out the volume in OBS, but then I realized I was turned all the way down in Discord, and when I turned it back up, it blew everybody's ears, and I promptly lowered the volume on OBS thereafter. So don't worry, guys. If it's still problematic a round later, please do let me know. But yeah, that should be good. That should be good. Actually, I'll let you cast a bit, and I'll type in the chat because I want to short circuit the delay to know if it's good.
Alrighty, so now that we are going to be segued into our first roll swap of this game, it's interesting to see the different characters that are going to be used from team to team. You know, it seems like so far this team puts more of a placement in hard breaching, especially on this objective, the lower objective. Now that you want to be able to get that verticality opportunity for yourself, now that you want to kind of get the walls open in order to make the plan, right? This objective is very plant-based, and to have all of those favors to your team is going to be a big thing. Now, with about 30 left on the clock, Pulse, he's going to be still sitting in the gold vault room, and of course this is nothing out of the ordinary for anybody to be seeing. It actually is a very normalized strat in the meta, so we can definitely expect that to be a big thing. Looking at this. Now, if he is able to get intel for operators going down blue stairs, that is definitely going to give him an edge on the competition, knowing how many people are down in the blue room. But however, Jaeger's going to be fighting off the opposition to his roam, unfortunately losing that one, putting us to our 5v4 situation. And yeah, about 50 seconds left. Sorry, I can't really see the screen, but yeah, Mozzie so far is going to be the direct defender.
You're not in Parsec?
To this.
Bomb
No, I
located
was
by
not.
attackers.
Oh, okay. We'll fix that next round.
All right.
yeah, that was as it was. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right.
Or-
Well, now the plant is going to be officially going down. Of course, Smoke is going to retaliate against this plant, putting down his smoke canisters at the perfect time. Now, of course, he still does have 2 smoke canisters, so he can wait out his time. It really does outline the true power of smoke in these situations. Of course, Thermite's going to be staved off from
15
the
seconds
plant.
to go.
He is, however, going to have to go in at one point if he wants to make this objective base.
10
Otherwise,
seconds
it's going to be a 5v4 deathmatch situation. Smoke, however, is going to be odd out. 5v3 situation. Now, Nitro Cell is going to be capturing an attacker, but defenders finally winning out round 7 with the Mozzie coming in clutch, picking up the shot on the planter. I believe that's Sledge.
Yeah, plant denial is so important. You put it adequately on a plant-based objective. Well, if you have a smoke, if you have a nitro cell, keeping that pulse till the very last second, sometimes, you know, it's worth it to pull back and accept that you're going to be a man down to keep that last reinforcement, that last, say, backup. When it truly counts, you could see, had Ultra gone roaming, or had he been more aggressive when the push was coming on the objective itself, he would not have been there with the nitro cell when it truly mattered.
Right, and another thing that's great to note about that is you can technically predict when the attackers are going to plant, especially if you're aided by other intel, when you're using the pulse. Because, of course, you know when there's the amount of attackers in the CCTV room and the servers room. If you, yeah,
Do
if
you
you
want
have that.
to jump into Parsec? I'm cutting you off. Do you want to jump into Parsec since we're not in the middle of a round?
Right,
This is my
I'll actually do that.
Parsec been running.
quick.
Sorry guys for tabbing.
About that.
Let's just grab that, put it
Oh,
here.
3rd gen or 6th gen?
6.
Okay, I'm gonna have to disconnect.
And if you
Oh,
need
perfect.
express authorization, great. So now you have audio, you have, you don't have the, say, compression that Discord does, and a very, very minimal delay. What else can one ask for? Round 8, CEO defense, looking at the compositions, light roaming presence, or actually 2D was sitting on the objective last round when we were at the, in the CCTV area, so maybe he will stay by janitor's closet or in the general area once again. Yeah, going into the round, what do you expect?
What can I expect from this? Well, we haven't really seen too much of a showing from the defense side of this team, Team Reckless. So, of course, I can't really make too many predictions on the way that they're going to play as a team. But from this objective itself, I can definitely say that it's more of a defender-sided objective. Of course, it really gives opportunities to attackers to get those extra angles right from the window, from the reinforcement. But I really do like to call it a defender-sided objective, especially because they can use the same thing to their advantage. Of course, the game itself is defender-sided. We can both say that for certainty, but
Some
I don't
maps
know.
more than other.
Of course.
Some maps more than other, but this one definitely holds true.
yeah, in some aspects, yes, you can say that this map is attacker-sided, but I don't know. I would like to say that this map is, in all, it really can be defender-sided.
Blackbeard here doesn't know that Ultra was sitting right underneath the window. Wool Elf, no, not was? Yeah, him. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Wool Elf was destroying. He inflicted a bit of damage, but you know it's Doc we're talking about, so nothing too dramatic. And at the very most, he's gonna cause Ultra to use up one stim pistol. It's very little gain, if any, if you can even consider it as that. But he's kind of keeping Ultra pinned down, which has some worth and some value, as his teammates are going to be trying to push into the objective. Not Nova on the lobby. He's looking for the angle, but nobody's actively peeking him. That's going to be Wolf getting a kill on Colossus. Did Jaeger run out? I believe he did. And as such, Wolf has yet again lost a bit of health, and he does not find the angle on that elusive yet really close Doc.
Of course, unfortunate as it is, Doc is going to survive another minute, but Thatcher and himself is going to be advancing up the Skylight South stairs,
Attackers have dropped the
and
bomb
Doc
diffuser.
now picking up a kill, but swiftly getting refragged by the watching Blackbeard. Unfortunate. But with the 2v2 situation, odds are closing in for the defense to be winning, especially with the smoke up as well as the Maestro. So that is not only intel, but that is going to be plant denial. Now, Blackbeard, he is in the CEO objective, so he does have that competitive edge. Quad kill for Wolf. Amazing job in finding the
15
shots on
seconds left.
Maestro. Smoke is the sole defender up. The diffuser actually is not in the hands
10
of the
seconds
attackers.
remaining.
I'm surprised that
Attackers
it's
recovered the
not,
bomb
but they're
diffuser.
going to be able to take it back to the objective. My
5
question
seconds
is,
to
what
go.
is Smoke doing at this point? Seems like he's just taking an alternative way into the objective. He's going to find, unfortunately, the Thatcher, but the Thatcher is going to make the shot on Smoke and win out the round.
Uh, I kind of doubted him for half a second, as at the very moment he was peaked, Thatcher was technically in front of the deployable shield, so he was out of cover, literally being presented on the table. But at the end of the day, well, he was able to reposition. You know, we're not even talking 2 steps, so quite easy to do. But he had the wits. He had the wits to do it mid firefight, and as such, you have to commend him for that, for his say spatial awareness. Situational awareness. I'm kind of getting tired here, I believe. My first game was so much better casting-wise, so I'm really glad you're here. And yeah, nice try. The defenders Slaughterhouse were able to hold on to the objective till the very last second, but eventually Maestro was fragged out. You had Smoke that was forced to withdraw to retreat, and he was just not able to recover that.
And of course, the defenders are going to be going the same objective, trying it once again. And with the match point coming up on their heels, it might be a good idea for them to switch objectives. But of course, they are going to do it again. And my main question now for this would be, what are they going to be doing different? What is going to be the switch of strategy? Obviously, one is pretty present here. The Doc is going to be switched out for the Valkyrie, so it does seem like the defense is going to be more intel-minded. Currently, they do have 3 different operators that have that intel capability: Mozzie, Maestro, and Valkyrie. So, yeah, they're going to be out for catching those attackers off guard, but they will also be utilizing the smoke, which again is a great choice for them. They utilized them in the past and with great success. But of course, smoke is not going to be the biggest factor. There are going to be some other factors that lead to a victory on the defense side.
Looking at it real quick, right now I would say the attackers or were, should I say, in some sort of a second running phase. You really want to gather as much intel as you can before you actually commit to a push. With now the second wave of drones having been used and spent, Boop is feeling pretty confident at the prospect of walking up those red stairs. Right now he doesn't seem to be willing to commit to that, but still, you know, they felt it was safe to walk in, and as such they absolutely are slowly but surely taking control. That would be cutting off potential flanking routes should there be any roamers, but as we could see, every and all defenders, all orange silhouettes, are sitting on the bomb sites themselves, so Boop would be better off with his time actually pushing the objective. JC looking for angles, but if nobody is forcing a rotation, that angle is not going to be worth too much. Not Nova was able to cut off the only roamer that we have, and that was Jaeger.
Yeah, and with the roamers being cut off, it essentially makes Ash ineffective at this point. Of course, she is sitting on the roam clear, but you know, the attack doesn't necessarily know that this is going to be a turtle strat outside of the objective, but you know, we'll have to see as time goes on. There might be those extra rotations that Boop can eventually cut off. But Maestro, he is going to be sitting on his faithful cam, so unfortunately that's going to be 1 operator out of the loop. And 3 other operators are going to be supporting this defense. Now Smoke, he's going to be taking an aggressive hold. Unfortunate he did not get the shot off on Zofia. That's still going to leave us at a dead stopped 4v4. Now Now 3v4 with more kills coming out. That is going to be a double for not Nova, if I'm correct. Or is it going to be a single? Well, either way, there is
that's
going
a double
to be
for
more,
Swaggy.
yeah, more doubles coming out. It's going to be a double for this other attacking operator. That's going to be the Buck Sway, if I'm correct.
Seems to be a tough in the case. He gets the kill. Ultra jumping down. Is he jumping with the cameras? What was he doing? He now has to get back in. He has no control on objective. As such, diffuser will be planted. He tried to go for the nitro cell, but that obviously doesn't work. And he was a free kill for Boop. Slaughterhouse winning round 9 with, I would say, minimal difficulty as soon as Valkyrie jumped down. To me, it felt like it was over. The only real shot she had at this was to run for the sewers as soon as possible and hope for the best, hope to be swift enough to, you know, get back on site before the diffuser has done its duty. But yeah, just staying outside, trying to go for the nitro cell, it was a bit too aggressive. It was a bit too, say, hopeful, and better luck next time. I just don't think it was the right tactical choice to make there.
Indeed. So now we're going to be put into our 6th match point situation that I had been predicting all along. But one thing is special about this match point situation. We have ascended into a potential point of no return. Of course, it is still 6-3, so there's leg room for the defense to come back. But would you like to explain to the viewers what that means?
Oh, that's the thing. Oh wait, I'm still in the replays. I've once forgotten to get back into the gaming screen, and I've spent a whole round on replays. That was really embarrassing. Let's not do that again. Yeah, the point of no return. That's like the question that we bounce off of each other. Do you want to explain to the audience what that means? So, you know what I'm talking about. So, point of no return. Basically, we're seeing a 6-3 scoreline. And as such, Slaughterhouse, well, they only have to win one round. Team Reckless, any and all mistakes are going to cost them the round. Their backs against the wall, so to say. Are they going to be able to mount the comeback? Technically, the match isn't over as long as Slaughterhouse is winning a next round. And as such, they're not out of the game yet. But, realistically speaking, do we expect Team Reckless to be capable to successfully mount the 3 rounds comeback that they have to get in order to win the map? That is somewhat unlikely. If you want to give them advantage of the doubts, or the benefits of the doubts, they are defending. So that could be like their saving grace. But is it going to be enough? Well, time will tell.
Of course, time will tell. But this round itself looks very hopeful for them as a team, right? You have Ella sitting on the blue stairs. That's going to be a rotation cutoff for the attackers. That's going to be an extra challenge that they're going to have to face coming down to the objective. And fortunately, the attackers do seem to be very hard-reach-minded, especially on the bottom objective. So now that's going to be great for the defenders because they have extra points of roaming and extra defenses going towards that exact strategy. So yeah, we're gonna have to see how that plays out for them in all.
That is going to be a hatch destroyed. Hatch opened up. Who is likely to be pushed from that angle? Nobody is really too much in a bad position. That is going to be JC opening the teller's hatch. We are rarely seeing a push from that angle, and if they're able, the attackers, I mean, to distract Team Reckless in just the right way at the right moment, they could even have a, relatively speaking, unprotected outlet into the objective, which, you know, you do like to see. The bait and the outsmarting your opponent is always somewhat satisfying, if I could put it that way. But apparently JC wanted to keep the breaching torch for that hatch, which you absolutely do understand, as Colossus will have to run out if he loses the blue stairs. But at the same time, you know, the way out is going to be cut off. As such, he has no way but to go for the kill, which does not work out for him. Not Nova flushing him out. It's now a 4v5 situation.
Unfortunate for the Ella to be going in and taking no collateral with her, but she's going to be shipped off, and Jaeger himself, he's going to be taking his spot back now with the entire CCTV room in the attacker's favor. They're going to be picking that one up very quickly and still with a good amount of time. So Smoke is going to be on the back foot for now, even though there's going to be a 4v4 situation, so still a lot of utility for the defenders and not a lot of security for the attackers at this point. Yep, just like that, the first nitrocell is going to be let off by the defenders, and
15 seconds
with that comes the potential stop in all of the plan. Now with Ash, she's going to be down in the objective 2v3 situation, flurry of kills, lots of kills for Docs, and 2v2 situation by the end. Will the plant go down? That is going to be the question, and it will not. Defenders winning round 10.
That was swift. That was somewhat interesting. Like, how did that round play out? If I had to point to put it in a word, I don't think there's a word, because that round was not, say, classic, or it wasn't set or something expected. Flurry of kills. You did not. They weren't able to plant the diffuser, so they really had to go in for the kills. And at the same time, it did seem to me as if pretty much all utility from the defenders had been burnt away. Like, Smoke was out of Toxic Babes. Motzi was out of his nitro cell. Who else was still up? The remaining defenders didn't have nitro cells, I believe. So all in all, a plan could have actually been successful, but no, they went for the Hail Mary. They went for the kills, which comes at a greater risk to themselves. And at the end of the day, it just so happened to not work because of the time. Yeah, so really unique round there.
Cannot agree with you more on that. Sorry, I'm trying out Dead Space here. That was one of the things that I was suggested to do. So yeah, definitely do not worry if I take a little bit of a pause in between our talks. This is just practice mostly for me.
Okay, yeah. Since you got accepted into ESA
Yeah.
yesterday, I believe.
Yeah,
Was it?
yeah, I did, and I made the tweet about it. And everybody's actually super supportive of it, and I really appreciate that.
Well, why would people not be supportive of you getting into? Is it technically Six Siege's second biggest community league?
One of them,
Like,
definitely. I'm not
CCS
quite sure
is the
about the
biggest? Yeah.
statistics of it.
But still, it's nothing to laugh at,
regardless,
you know?
Yeah, it's actually a really cool opportunity. I get to work with a lot of amazing talent. Just last night I worked with Cthulhu.
Yeah,
He was-
Cthulhu, I believe.
yeah, he's a pro league caster, I believe, for well, the other side of the world, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah,
But
where's
yeah,
he from exactly? Because I know he's European, but I don't know the exact country. Not to get off track, let's wrap it up pretty quick. When I'm just curious.
I'm actually not quite sure. I'll have to ask him that next time we talk.
It's gonna be on Liquipedia. It's gonna take me 2 seconds to look up, or on his Twitter, whatever. Jumping back into the game. Team Reckless were able to win the last round, but their overall situation has not changed. The backs against the wall, every mistake is going to be fatal, is still in effect. And they only have 2 rounds to win now, so it's better than before. But, eventually their luck is going to run dry. Is it going to be before or after the hypothetical overtime possible situation? It yet remains
Remains
to
to be seen. What a 5v3 situation will
take it
prove
over.
to tell that that this might actually turn out in the attacker's
Smoke.
favor.
Oh.
Over 5v2, JC is going to pick up the shot on Breezy. That is going to be her smoke down, one of the biggest, most influential operators throughout these past few rounds that I've been able to see. Now, still 2v3 situation. Both the defenders are off of the objective. That is so unfortunate to be seeing. They're going to have to make their way back to the objective, retake, and, well, win out the round. But now, as I say that 1v5 situation, the odds definitely are not in the defense's favor anymore. Jaeger Colossus is going to have to single-handedly win a 1v5 retake situation.
Alright, he was not successful in denying the plant of the diffuser, but then gets the kill on Swaggy before his feet even touched the ground, but that's not gonna matter! As Boop was there waiting for him, and he just cut him off real quick. Once your position is known, once you're outnumbered against Slaughterhouse, there's just no way out of there.
Unfortunate loss for Reckless, but amazing win for Slaughterhouse. I really commend them on that.
Oh, all in all, they did really well. once again, I just wanted to apologize real quick for the slight error I made in the match settings. Team Reckless were supposed to start attacking, which is why the orange team was defending in the second half. Well, I meant to switch it up for the overtime possibility, which didn't happen, but yeah, you know, I just want to acknowledge that I done goofed,
Attackers are activating
and
bomb diffuser.
yeah, I hope it doesn't change the results too much. But with all that being said, that is going to be it for me tonight. Like, you jumped in pretty much all at once, so we didn't have too much time to go over this, but yeah, I can't do the third match tonight. So thank you for your partial presence throughout the night. It is absolutely appreciated. And I do believe the chat also enjoyed having an actual discussion rather than just me talking into a mic on my own. So with that being said, Team Reckless are going to have one more loss on their name. I did not exactly have time to check. Was it their third defeat? I believe it was. So they're going to be out of the picture for the very last round. And looking at it real quick, since I do have a bit of time, Okami are bound to play again. Revenue, Burden Bicep, Slaughterhouse, obviously. And other than that, the remaining games are yet ongoing. The one is being casted on Jesse's channel, if you guys want to check it out. Was Benny casting a second game tonight? No, but Despo is... Oh, Despo, I believe, is a German caster, though. So, yeah, I might want to host Jess instead. Though I find Despo to be a great caster. Yeah, but with that being said, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate your presence. This was the final, as far as I'm concerned, open qualifier. In, I want to say, 2 weeks' time, there's going to be the playoffs. Yeah, maybe even 3 weeks. So after Invitational, maybe like a week, maybe 2 weeks after that, there's going to be the playoffs, which I will absolutely be covering. But until then, as always, we are free to cast whichever team we want, or I at least. I don't know if you're going to be present too much on this channel, Rafro, since, well, once again, you're going to be on ESA. Yeah, so I do go fars and everything. If you guys want me to cast your team on a go far, just hit me up. But with that being said, for the time being, I will have to head off. Thank you guys for being here. GG's to the players, and we'll see you guys for the playoffs.
Attackers have located a bomb. Remaining. Attackers recovered their Op